All right, so let's go ahead and start our COVID-19 map that we're making. The key to this map is well, I've been looking at this data quite a bit over the past couple of days, and you can see as of today, there's 163,000 cases in the United States and 3,200 deaths roughly. And if you go down and look at the data a little bit closer, you can see that there's a pretty varying death rate per the number of total cases, having to do with the manner in which each state is testing individually. For example, New York's death rate looks to be about 2%, New Jersey's is 1%, Louisiana's almost 4%. So when you look at this data, it's really, I think, the deaths that are more indicative of the pandemic rather than the total cases, just based on the testing protocols at the different state levels. So what we want to do is make a map that allows us to visualize these deaths as they happen across multiple weeks. So the key is really to think about how do you want to visualize this data and how often you want to create a series. So I'm thinking if we do one map a week for the next 4 weeks, that'll give us a pretty interesting glimpse of how this this disease is kind of spreading throughout the United States. So the way I'm kind of thinking about that looking is something like this, right? Like a time series where we can see the growth moving across, on the left-hand side or on the top, if you have a vertical orientation, going from, relatively sparse to relatively heavy as time goes by. All right. So what we're going to do, go into our GIS program. First thing we're going to do is get the COVID-19 data. So we go here to the coronavirus-disasterresponse.hub.arcgis.com. We can find up-to-date data that's updated on a daily basis. We can go down here, kind of get past this map here, go to get data. There's a whole bunch of different data sets we can choose from. We want to choose this one, COVID-19 cases US. Go to view data, download that as a shapefile. Go ahead and unzip that wherever. All right, and so the key is we want to do this basically the same time. So I'm doing this on Monday night, so I'm going to go ahead and make my first map here Monday 3:30. The next one I'll make next week, next Monday night, and so on and so forth. So we'll go ahead and add our data. And we can see that it's coming in as point symbols. This is basically the center point of each county. It's a point symbol, right? And if we kind of look at one specifically, it's going to tell us some information. One of the things to look at in this information or this data is that each county has a center point, so even if there hasn't been a confirmed case or a death in that particular county, it's going to have a point. Like here's Yellowstone County, Montana, 28 confirmed, no deaths. Maybe if we go to this one confirmed. Try this one. 0 confirmed here in Pembina County, North Dakota. So this data, each county has a data point, even if there's no data in that particular county. All right. So we want to add some county data that we're going to join this to, so we can symbolize either at like a choropleth style, or so we have some sort of background behind it. And so from remote desktop, you're able to access the L drive, which is the GIS data. And if you go to L drive, an earthquake just happened. Education data. No, not that one. This one. USA, census. Let's go to counties. Add that. So your counties in the background. Let's go ahead and project this. Put this in. Let's say continental Albert is equal area. Okay, that's good. Alright, so that's going to give us a map, a nice projection. There's a couple weird data points out here. I'm not really sure what they are. What's this here? Not sure why Aleutian West Alaska is there. Not sure what that is. So a couple weird data points, but let's not worry about those too much. Alright, let's zoom in just the continental US, see what we're looking at. Yeah, you can see how each point is at the center of each county. Alright, so we want to join these two data sets together. Go to counties, join. Join is based on the FIPS, which is in both. Hit OK. And now if we look at our county data, we should have, here's our confirmed, recovered, deaths, active COVID-19 data. So from here we can do a number of things. We can visualize this in a choropleth design. Right, go to quantities, graduated color. Let's say we wanted to have deaths, and let's normalize that by the population in 2008, just so the high population counties aren't driving the symbology. We can do something like that. All right, we can get a map that shows the distribution of deaths from COVID-19 in relation to the underlying population of the county. Fiddle with the classification. You can see here that most of these are 0. So we just change that to 0. Then all the ones that don't have any cases have this value here. For some reason, there's a little hole in the data here. I'm not sure what that's all about. We can fix that later. All right, so that's one option. You could go with a graduated symbol. Do the same thing, do deaths. And again, let's normalize that by population. Do something like that, you get a map that looks like this. Okay, or we could do, let's see what a proportional symbol looks like. Probably New York looks insane. Okay. Or you do a dot density. In this one, you could do something like confirmed as one value. Let me make this. Go light purple. This one we have the dot size is 2. Each dot equals, let's say, 25 people. It's going to give us something that looks like this. And then we could add deaths as another variable. Make this one, say, like light green. that one. Dot value equals 10 again. Put deaths on top since there's fewer of those. And then our map would look something like this. Probably not a very good color combination, but you get the point. You could do dot density, you could do choropleth, you could do graduated symbol. Essentially what you want to do is create a symbology and a classification system, and then follow that same method each week. And at the end of 4 weeks, we should see a map that has this kind of growth over time that allows us to see kind of the extent of this outbreak in a pretty cool way. All right, I think